I thought about doing my routine, silly intro, but quite honestly, I felt that song, or the bit I could show off anyway, is a very fitting replacement. And while it may seem like I cherry-picked a especially charming and slightly silly moment, and keep in mind I use silly in the best way possible, the whole game is full of these moments. I mean, I did cherry-pick the specific one, but trust me, it's absolutely representative of the vibe of the game. And this moment represents everything I like about the game. The art style, the animations, the charm, the awesome soundtrack, the voice acting. The game has it all, and I'm absolutely in love. But let's go bit by bit, shall we? Figment 2 has you playing as Dusty, the courage inside a guy's mind. He's accompanied by his bird partner, Piper, who, by the way, can be controlled in co-op. Huge plus already, isn't it? Your task is to get rid of nightmares that wreak havoc in said mind, keeping it safe and, you know, not broken. In this specific game, right after the prologue, you get news that a new nightmare is destroying the mind's moral compass. So off you go to Creed Valley, the titular location, to protect it. The story is slightly predictable, but still awesome to experience. You get to see the effects that what you're doing is having in the actual human being's behavior via cutscenes that happen at specific moments. You also get to understand what led you to that point by watching old memories of his. The story is actually pretty nice, emotional, and it carries with it a message that we all need to be reminded of from time to time. If you're curious what it is, though, you'll just have to play the game yourself. Also, just in case you're curious, even though this is a sequel to Figment 1, you don't really need that story to, you know, understand this one. At least, I didn't play the original and I still had a really good time with this one. Although I'm sure I missed some references. And speaking of play, what exactly is the gameplay here? Well, nothing complicated, for better and for worse. The Steam store page calls it an action-adventure game set in the human mind, and I think that's a very accurate description. Figment 2 knows what it wants to do, and it doesn't really need complicated gameplay to do it. As such, you will be spending your time doing one of three things: exploring, fighting, and solving puzzles. And they are all pretty simple things to do. In the combat side of things, you have basically three moves. Well, aside from moving your character. You can roll, which allows you to roll through most moves unscathed. You can attack multiple times for a combo, and you can attack out of a roll into a cleave-like move. And that's it, really. No extra moves acquired during your 4 or so hours journey, no skills, no nothing. What you get in the beginning is what will accompany you until the end. Oh, and if you die, all that happens is you restart at the beginning of the combat section, so no harsh penalties. No upgrades is also the theme for exploration. You can only really walk around, hit stuff with his sword, and talk to opinions. That's more or less it. You don't get extra movement abilities or anything like that. But again, the game doesn't really need those to accomplish its goal. The path you take is mostly linear and divided by levels. Each level can be pretty different from the one prior in theme, with some levels really adding some nice things. My favorite is a murder mystery that you have to solve. That's all I'll say on that, because I'd rather you experience it yourself. During your exploration, you can also find collectibles. You get fragments of memories, which are basically purple stones that you can collect. Collect 50% of them and you unlock one of the human's memories, which help explain why he got to the point he did. It's a pretty nice way to add backstory to the game. Just be warned that lots of these purple stones are within rocks you have to hit, and some of these rocks are pretty well hidden. Luckily, you don't need to find them all to unlock the memory. The puzzle side of things is also pretty simple. Lots of the puzzles actually revolve around the game's big mechanic: open and close-mindedness. You can basically swap the mind between two states, and those change specific elements of your surroundings. Open-mindedness leaves opinions more open to being challenged and to experience new things. It also opens and closes some bridges, doors, and elevators, or thoughts as they are called. Closed-mindedness does, well, the opposite of all that. Opinions get more focused on their ideas and tasks. Some bridges open, some doorways close. You have to alternate between the two states to progress, but really, it never gets too difficult. And that's kind of a constant throughout the game, really. It doesn't get too difficult. At least it didn't for me. But I must say it again, that's okay. A chill experience might not be for everyone, but it absolutely is for me. I didn't miss the difficulty, and in fact, I at times actually felt the combat with trash mobs got in the way of my enjoyment because everything else is just so good. Well, that and because the enemy variety isn't great, so we got tiring fighting the same things. But what is there that's so good, you might ask? Well, if I had to choose a specific point to highlight to convince you all to buy the game, it would have to be how charming it is. Like, seriously, this game is just a joy to play through. You got a glimpse of it in my intro, but the whole game is that charming. You get these little creatures called opinions that represent, well, the mind's opinions on the most random things. The game has great dialogues and some really cool little references that I've appreciated, and many special moments. I know I showed one in the intro already, but here's another in which a specific spot turns your character into a noir movie reference.
I tried drowning my sorrows in cerebrum cider, but the little critters learned how to swim. They say every dog has his day, but I ain't counting on seeing mine anytime soon. I only work nights.
That charm also shows in the art style and the attention to detail in it. The game looks gorgeous, and lots of things in that mindscape are built with purpose. Some of it directly told to the players, some not. For example, in the prologue you'll see at the back of the human's mind a bunch of broken instruments. Dusty states that it must be because he buried his musical dreams a long time ago. What becomes clear then, even if not stated, is why things in his mind are so musical, down even to the birds that show up in the background of this area showing on camera right now, which have ears for wings. So yeah, the game was clearly built with a lot of love and it shows. Not only that, but it shows via the developers' attitude as well. They love stopping by streams and watching people enjoy their work, they celebrate their racings on Twitter, etc. And not to mention, they gave me, a nobody on YouTube more or less, a key just so I could experience the title and share it with all of you. Thanks again for that, Bedtime Digital. It really means a lot to me, especially given how much I like the game. But I think all that love, all that attention mostly shows in the soundtrack. Oh man, I really did leave the best for last. It's absolutely incredible. See, what I didn't mention about this game yet is that it's very music themed. Well, I kinda mentioned it, but still. In fact, every single boss fight, even though there are very few unfortunately, have the boss singing while it attacks you. And these moments are absolute bops. Take a look, or listen rather.
Now something's moving, is it all in your head? Is it the wind or someone under your bed?
Needless to say, the game is also voice acted and it's actually pretty good. Now's the time I usually give my verdict, but do I even need to? I think it's pretty clear by now that I love this game. It's a joy to play through something that has so much love oozing from it, and I didn't even run into any issues aside from tiny moments of jank upon exiting some of the lifts and moments in which the voice acting ended but the mouth animation continued. But honestly, these are the nittiest of the nitpicks. How simple everything is will be a turn off for some of you, but if this looks right up your alley, then I urge you to give it a try. And how can you give it a try, you ask? Well, the game has a demo on Steam. It's called Figment 2 Creed Valley Prologue. I'll leave a link to it in the description, as well as the full game. If you do give the game a shot, I hope you enjoy it. Please do let me know. And now for the fun YouTube stuff. If you enjoyed this video, if it was useful to you, please do leave a like and subscribe as both actions really help out the channel. But above all else, leave a comment. I love hearing from all of you. that aside, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the next video. Bye bye!
Every instrument sounds great in the right context. Well, maybe except the banjo.